a single glance. Not a fancy wave or a big smile, just a quiet, serious stare from Queen Elizabeth at Harry and Meghan's wedding. Back then, folks thought she was just tired or lost in thought. But now, years later, we know that look meant a whole lot more. Thanks to some secrets shared after the Queen passed, from her super close cousin, Lady Elizabeth Anson, we're hearing what the Queen really thought about Meghan Markle. And it's not what the palace told everyone. Behind closed doors, Queen Elizabeth had already decided. Meghan wasn't just wrong for Harry. She was like a storm wrapped in sparkly clothes and big dreams. And the Queen saw it coming. Lady Elizabeth, who was by the Queen's side for years and super close to her, said the Queen thought Meghan planned the whole relationship. Not falling in love, not swept away, but planned it, like a careful plot. The Queen even gave Meghan a nickname in private, the Troublemaker. And she wasn't joking, she meant it. From the start, Meghan rubbed the royal family the wrong way. There were little signs like breaking small rules, talking in a rude way, and most of all, not following the royal ways. These weren't just tiny mistakes. They were big warnings for a queen who lived her whole life for duty and order. One of the first big problems happened with the wedding plans. Harry asked the Archbishop of Canterbury to do the ceremony at St. George's Chapel without telling the Dean of Windsor, who's supposed to handle those things. To us, it might seem small, but to the Queen, it was like ignoring royal traditions, and that hurt her. She felt pushed aside by her own grandson. Lady Elizabeth said the Queen was upset, not just because of the rule breaking, but because Harry didn't seem to care about the royal ways she worked so hard to protect. Things got worse. Just before the wedding, Meghan wouldn't show the Queen her wedding dress when they met privately. Not even a quick look. The Queen, who was in her 90s, was trying to be friendly with Meghan, even with her worries, but got shut down. Imagine the Queen politely asking about your dress, and you saying no, like she's some nosy reporter. That moment stuck with her, not just because it was rude, but because it showed Meghan didn't trust her. And so, the Queen couldn't trust Meghan either. It was the start of things falling apart. Meghan and Kate didn't get along from the start. It wasn't just rumors. The Queen saw it too. She told Lady Elizabeth that the two women didn't get along at all. Her words, not ours. This kind of fighting in the family wasn't just annoying, it was risky. It broke the picture of a happy royal family that everyone needed to see, especially with the younger royals taking over. But what really hurt the Queen wasn't just Meghan. It was how Harry changed. The fun, kind grandson she loved turned into someone she didn't know, weak and different, she said. And while she didn't hate Meghan, she didn't like how she acted. What scared the Queen most was this. Meghan knew exactly what she was doing and Harry didn't. The Queen had dealt with tough people her whole life, but this was different. Meghan wasn't just a unique royal. She was shaking things up in ways that went against everything the royal family stood for. Lady Elizabeth, the Queen's closest friend, knew the difference between being a rebel and causing real trouble. And with Meghan, she thought it was more like trouble. What worried the Queen was how fast Harry got cut off from everyone. Family events got awkward. Messages were controlled. Lady Elizabeth said Harry would repeat Meghan's words almost exactly. The independence he used to have was gone. Meghan didn't have to push him away. Harry did it himself, and he wanted to. The Queen, always quiet in public, called it sad behind closed doors. One big moment stuck with Lady Elizabeth. During a phone call, Harry spent 10 whole minutes yelling at his grandmother. Not arguing, not talking, but yelling. And the Queen just listened. She was shaken, not just by what he said, but because the bond she loved with her grandson was broken for good. Harry wasn't just defending Meghan. He was attacking the woman who always supported him. Then came the growing fight between Harry and William. It started small, but by the wedding, it was obvious. Meghan and Kate argued a lot. The Queen didn't need gossip magazines to know something was wrong. She told Lady Elizabeth it was troubling how tense things were between the two couples. But what worried her more was how Meghan seemed to cause problems everywhere. The Queen noticed a pattern. Meghan was sweet in public but cold in private. She was great with charity events and cameras, but rude to royal staff and didn't care about traditions. When problems came up, Meghan would say it was about racism or old rules. The Queen knew the royal family wasn't perfect, but she didn't like how fast Meghan called everything mean. Instead of trying to understand, she wanted to fight. The problem wasn't just between brothers or wives, it was starting to hurt the whole royal family. Behind the pretty pictures, things were falling apart. A lot of Meghan's staff quit. Secret complaints started to leak, and it all weighed on the Queen, especially as she got sicker. By the time Lady Elizabeth talked to her before the wedding, the Queen already had doubts about Meghan's plans. She told her cousin she hoped Meghan really loved Harry, but she didn't think so. "We're not sure," she said. And then, super clearly, she added, "We think she planned it all." That one sentence from the Queen to her cousin said it all. The whole fairy tale was being doubted at the top, not by gossip or critics, but by the woman who had seen every royal marriage and drama for 70 years. To the Queen, Meghan wasn't just misunderstood. She was smart, planned, and strategic. And Harry, so in love, couldn't see it. Or maybe he didn't want to. He kept saying the Queen was okay with the marriage, even writing letters saying so. But in private, the Queen told Lady Elizabeth the truth. She wasn't happy at all. That sadness stayed with her because, more than anything, she was scared of what Harry was losing. His role, his family, and her trust. The wedding itself was when it all became clear. While everyone loved the glamour and news called it a fresh take on tradition, those close to the Queen saw something else. Behind the fancy pearls and royal wave, Elizabeth looked worried. She smiled for the cameras, but to those who really knew her, her face said it all. This wasn't happiness, it was giving up. Lady Elizabeth Anson later shared how the Queen saw that day. Not as a happy party, but as a big change. Meghan wouldn't share details about her dress, even when the Queen asked her directly. It wasn't about the dress, it was about trust. The Queen saw it as a clear rejection, a sign Meghan didn't want. To be part of the family, just deal with it until she could change the story her way. That kind of behavior wasn't just odd, it was dangerous in a family where keeping things quiet was how they survived. Things got worse fast after the wedding. Behind palace doors, it was clear Meghan wasn't going to fit in. The curtsy, the rules, the way staff worked, it all felt unimportant to her. What shocked the Queen wasn't just ignoring traditions. It was Meghan's attitude. She acted like the royal family should change for her, not the other way around. And, as always, Harry went along, getting further from the family every month. By early 2019, Lady Elizabeth noticed the Queen wasn't her hopeful self anymore. Instead, she was full of worry, disappointment, and sometimes shock. The Queen told her cousin she didn't trust Meghan at all. Not because of one thing, but because of a pattern. Meghan was nice when cameras were on, but cold or rude when they weren't. She didn't care about earning the royal family's respect. She wanted to be bigger than it. The Queen saw that Meghan was charming and talented. She had that star power, but she wasn't using it to help the family. She was using it to change the story. Everything became about Meghan's struggles, Meghan's image, Meghan's truth. And when people criticized her, she blamed the press, the staff, or the royals. The Queen knew that game too well, and she wasn't impressed. Her life was about helping others and staying quiet, not making a big show. Lady Elizabeth said the Queen, even in her last years, tried to fix things. She offered kindness, went to dinners even when she was tired, and took calls that hurt her heart. She tried so hard to keep the family together, but nothing worked. And slowly, it was clear Harry wasn't coming back. Not in his heart, not in loyalty, not in truth. What hurt the Queen most wasn't just them leaving, it was the betrayal. Harry's rejection felt personal. He wasn't just leaving his job. He was leaving her, everything she built, everything she passed down. She gave him trust, love, and a place in history. And in return, he chose someone who saw the royal family as a step, not a legacy. Lady Elizabeth died in 2020, taking years of quiet, loyal service with her. But the talks she had with the Queen in those last years stayed, showing a Queen who wasn't tired from age or work, but heartbroken. She saw the truth way before everyone else did. Meghan wasn't the fairy tale. She was the rewrite. And for a Queen who lived by the rules, there was no bigger betrayal.